At 2:47 a.m., an American guided missile destroyer detected an incoming threat. The radar operator had exactly 38 seconds to react. 38 seconds to classify, report, and initiate countermeasures against a target moving at 680 miles per hour. He didn't make it. The Noor anti-ship missile, skimming just 20 feet above the Persian Gulf's black waters, slammed into the port side of the USS Morrison. The explosion ripped through 3 decks. 17 American sailors were killed instantly. Iran had just crossed a line that no nation had dared to cross in over 4 decades. And the United States was about to respond with devastating force. Welcome to Global Warfare TV. I'm breaking down one of the most dangerous naval confrontations in modern history. What happened that night changed the balance of power in the Persian Gulf. And the lessons learned are still shaping American naval doctrine today. Let me take you back 72 hours. Because to understand why this attack succeeded, you need to understand why American defenses failed. The Strait of Hormuz, 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. Every single day, 21 million barrels of oil pass through this choke point. That's $1.4 billion worth of crude every day. Control the strait, and you control the global economy. Iran has always known this. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy had been tracking American patrol patterns for months. According to intelligence assessments released years later, their surveillance operation was far more sophisticated than anyone anticipated. They had mapped radar coverage gaps. They had timed patrol rotations. They had identified the exact window when the USS Morrison would be most vulnerable. 47 nautical miles southeast of Bandar Abbas, operating alone, standard control. Routine mission. That was the first mistake. The IRGC had positioned 3 China-class fast attack craft in the radar shadow of a Panamanian-flagged oil tanker. Each boat displaced just 10 tons. Each carried 2 C-802 anti-ship missiles. Chinese design, Iranian manufacture. Range, 120 kilometers. Warhead, 165 kilograms of high explosive. Speed, Mach 0.9. These weren't patrol boats playing games. These were ship killers waiting for the signal. What would you have done if you were the Morrison's captain that night? Would you have investigated every fishing boat? Every tanker shadow? Comment your answer below. At 2:41 a.m., the first Cena-class boat broke cover. It accelerated to 52 knots, racing across the water like a steel predator hunting prey. The Morrison's AN/STS-67 surface search radar detected the contact immediately. But here's the thing about the Persian Gulf at night. There are hundreds of small craft, fishing boats, smugglers, civilian traffic. The rules of engagement required positive identification before any hostile action. The radar operator classified it as a probable fishing vessel. According to the after-action report, the classification was reasonable given the available data. The boat's radar signature matched dozens of legitimate vessels in the area. Its speed, while fast, wasn't unprecedented for local traffic. But reasonable isn't the same as correct, and in naval warfare, that distinction costs lives. 6 minutes later, 17 Americans were dead. At 2:45 a.m., the IRGC commander gave the fire order. 2 missiles launched simultaneously from the lead attack boat. Twin pillars of fire erupted from the deck, visible for miles across the dark water. The Noor missiles climbed to 100 feet, acquired their target, then dove to wave-skimming altitude. 20 feet above the water, almost impossible to detect against the sea clutter until it's too late. The Morrison's radar finally picked up the threat at 2:46 and 22 seconds. The Combat Information Center erupted into controlled chaos. General quarters sounded throughout the ship. But 38 seconds is not enough time, not against a missile traveling at 680 miles per hour. The Phalanx C IWS, the ship's last line of defense, spun up to 4,500 rounds per minute. The system designed to create a wall of tungsten between the ship and incoming threats. It engaged at maximum range. 200 rounds of 20mm penetrators screamed toward the lead missile. Direct hit. The first Noor exploded 400 meters from the ship. Fragments peppered the hull, but no significant damage. But there were 2 missiles, and the phalanx takes 2.3 seconds to reacquire a new target. The second missile got through. If you're following this breakdown, hit that subscribe button. Global Warfare TV goes deeper into naval tactics than anyone else. This is the content you won't find on mainstream news. The explosion was catastrophic. The 165-kilogram warhead detonated against the port side, directly beneath the bridge. The blast tore a 40-foot hole in the destroyer's hull. Fire erupted across 3 decks. The ship's combat systems were dark. 17 sailors never had a chance. Captain Jennifer Walsh was thrown across the bridge by the impact. She suffered a fractured collarbone and severe burns to her hand. But according to survivors, she never lost confidence, never stopped issuing orders. Damage control teams rushed to contain the flooding. Corpsmen sprinted toward the casualties. The Morrison was hurt, badly hurt, but she wasn't dead yet. The IRGC commander made a critical error. He assumed 1 missile hit would be enough. He assumed the Americans would be too shocked to respond. War game projections had suggested otherwise, but commanders often believe what they want to believe. The Morrison's weapon systems were offline. Her radar was damaged. Her fire control was down. But her communications were still functioning. Captain Walsh transmitted 3 words that would seal Iran's fate. Red Hawk, Red Hawk, Red Hawk. The emergency distress code reached the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group, operating 180 nautical miles to the southeast. Within 90 seconds, Admiral Thomas Hartley had authorized a full combat response. 2 FA-18E Super Hornets were already airborne on combat air patrol. They received new targeting coordinates at 2:52 a.m. The pilots pushed their throttles to military power. At 1.8 Mach, they covered the distance to the Morrison's position in under 7 minutes. Meanwhile, the 3 Iranian attack boats were attempting to withdraw. They had completed their mission. They had proven that Iran could strike American warships. Or so they thought. The lead Super Hornet pilot, callsign Reaper, acquired the first target at 2:58 a.m. His AN/APG-79AESA radar painted the Cena-class boat at 34 nautical miles. He selected an AGM-84 Harpoon missile. Lock. Fire. The missile dropped from the wing pylon, ignited its turbojet engine, and screamed toward the target at 530 miles per hour. The Iranian boat never saw it coming. The Harpoon struck amidships. The 488-pound warhead vaporized the vessel instantly. 14 IRGC sailors died in a fireball visible for 30 miles. What would you have done if you were Admiral Hartley? Limit the response to the 3 attack boats, or escalate to strike Iranian shore installations? Tell me in the comments. The second Iranian boat attempted evasive maneuvers. The pilot twisted and turned, pushing his craft to maximum speed. 52 knots. Desperate. Futile. You cannot outrun a missile traveling at Mach 0.85. The second Harpoon struck the stern. The boat broke apart. 11 more Iranian sailors died. The third boat commander made a different choice. He recognized the situation was hopeless. He ordered his crew to abandon ship and transmitted a surrender signal. The Americans accepted. 18 IRGC sailors were pulled from the water by a rescue helicopter 2 hours later. They would spend the next 6 months in detention, providing valuable intelligence about Iranian naval operations. But the American response was far from over. At 3:15 a.m., Admiral Hartley received authorization from Central Command for expanded strike. The Iranian coastal radar installation at Jazz had provided targeting data for the attack. Pentagon analysts determined it had to be destroyed. 4 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from the USS Philippine Sea, a Ticonderoga-class cruiser operating with the carrier group. Each missile carried a 1,000-pound warhead. Flight time to target, 47 minutes. The Iranian Air Defense Network detected the incoming missiles. They activated their Bavar 373 system, Iran's domestically produced answer to the Russian S-300. Here's where the operation didn't go as planned. The Bavar 373's radar tracked all 4 Tomahawks. It launched 6 interceptor missiles. 2 Tomahawks were destroyed en route. American intelligence had underestimated the system's engagement capability. The after-action assessment would call this a significant gap in threat evaluation. But 2 Tomahawks got through. The first struck the radar complex at 4:02 a.m. The explosion destroyed the main antenna array and killed 23 Iranian military personnel. The second Tomahawk hit the command bunker. Another 31 dead. In the span of 75 minutes, Iran had lost 2 attack boats, 54 sailors, a radar installation, and any illusion that they could strike American forces without consequences. Support Global Warfare TV by giving this video a thumbs up. Your engagement helps us keep producing this tactical analysis, but the cost wasn't one-sided. The USS Morrison was in critical condition. Damage control teams had contained the flooding, but the ship had taken on 2,000 tons of seawater. Her port list reached 12 degrees. Any more, and she would capsize. Captain Walsh made the difficult decision to beach the ship on a sandbar near the Omani coast. It was the only way to save her remaining crew. The evacuation took 6 hours. Helicopters from the Abraham Lincoln flew 31 sorties. Medical teams worked through the dawn. By 10 a.m., all surviving crew members had been transferred to safety. Final count, 17 dead, 43 wounded, the worst single-day loss for the U.S. Navy since the USS Cole attack in 2000. The diplomatic aftermath was immediate and severe. President Mitchell addressed the nation at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Iran has committed an act of war against the United States Navy. This aggression will not stand. The United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session. Russia and China blocked any resolution condemning Iran. France and the United Kingdom stood with the United States. Iran's response came 24 hours later. Supreme Leader Khamenei appeared on state television claiming the attack was defensive action against American aggression in Iranian territorial waters. The claim was false. GPS data confirmed the Morrison was operating 8 nautical miles inside international waters. But truth doesn't always win the information war. The economic impact was immediate. Oil prices spiked 34% in a single trading day. Brent crude hit $147 per barrel. Gas prices in the United States jumped 60 cents overnight. Insurance companies suspended coverage for tankers transiting the strait. Shipping costs spiked by $2.3 million per voyage. The Pentagon ordered 2 additional carrier strike groups to the region. Within 72 hours, the United States had over 200 combat aircraft within striking distance of Iran. The standoff continued for 11 days. During that time, there were 14 separate incidents of Iranian drones approaching American warships. At the time, the drones were shot down. There were 7 instances of Iranian fast boats making aggressive runs. Each time, warning shots were fired. One mistake, one miscalculation, and the region would explode into full-scale war. On day 12, a breakthrough. Through back-channel communications facilitated by Oman, Iran agreed to a temporary de-escalation. It wasn't peace. It wasn't even close to peace, but it was enough to pull both nations back to the brink. The USS Morrison was eventually towed to Bahrain for assessment. The damage was too severe. On June 15th, the Navy announced she would be decommissioned. A $2.1 billion warship destroyed by a $200,000 missile. The mathematics of modern warfare are brutal. The 17 sailors who died that night received full military honors. Their names are now inscribed on the memorial at the Naval Academy. But the questions remain. According to the classified investigation, Iranian intelligence had obtained American patrol schedules through a compromised communication channel. The source was never identified. The vulnerability was never fully closed. The Persian Gulf remains the most dangerous waterway on Earth. American warships patrol constantly, their crews on permanent high alert. Iranian forces watch from the shore, their missiles always ready. The next incident could happen at any moment. And next time, the response might not be so restrained. This is the reality of modern naval warfare. There are no safe zones. There are no guarantees. A single missile launched from a small boat in the darkness can change everything. The sailors who serve in these waters understand this. They accept this risk every single day. Iran proved it could draw American blood. America proved it would respond with overwhelming force. Neither side achieved a decisive advantage. But somewhere in Tehran, military planners are studying the engagement, learning from mistakes, preparing for round two. The question isn't whether there will be another confrontation in the Persian Gulf. The question is when. Stay vigilant, stay informed. I'll see you in the next one.